Hello, my name is Elvis Sanchez, and today I will be talking about module number 2, which we went over during this bilingualism course. This module stuck out to me because I feel like this is something that I experience very often. This module is pertaining to cross-linguistic influence and code switching. So when we speak about cross-linguistic influence, we're referring to the grammatical properties that reflect in one language or from one language to the next. We also have what's called code switching, and that's when we basically shift from one language to another within a certain sentence. And this is something that I also experience a lot because I speak English and Spanish, and my cousins, just like myself, are also bilingual, and we often speak in both languages basically. So we call it Spanglish, and this is something that's very common within my family and also my community. It's the people that were born here in the United States and come from the Dominican Republic, which is where my family's from, often experience that as well. So in this module, there's two terms that come up, which is L1 and L2. And when we speak about L1 and L2, we're referring to the first language that a person speaks, which is L1. And L2 is basically the second language that someone speaks, or the language that a person is learning currently. So when we refer to learners specifically who are learning in an L1, which is their primary language, we see that these students do excel and do very well in their academics. But when we look at children or people that go to school and are studying in their second language or L2, we see that there's a decrease in their academic grades. And the reason for this is because they have a deficiency in learning or writing and reading in their second language, because they're currently still learning the rules and regulations that pertain to that specific language. So we also have another term that's called language dominance, and most bilinguals do not show a balanced development in both languages. So when a person doesn't show that they're able to speak two languages or their two languages very effectively, we call that language dominance. So that's something that bilinguals, very often experience. Also, the implications that clinicians have when dealing with these types of influation or situation is that cross-linguistic influence is not a sign of general confusion, which makes it very hard for clinicians to assess certain disorders that may be coming up. But this is just a very brief overview of the module and certain topics that came up within the module, and it stuck out to me because I experience these things very often. So it was a pleasure to learn this information and be able to elaborate on it on this video. So thank you so much for listening, and have a good one. Bye bye.